You're worth $4 billion. You can buy anything on earth. Today, you choose to feel poor. You open a basic checking account at a corner bank. You deposit exactly $6,000. You lock every credit card inside a safe. You hide the key. You delete every banking app. For 30 days, you live on this paycheck. No transfers, no bailouts, no exceptions for any emergency. You want to remember what your first salary felt like. You don't know what you're about to learn. The teller hands you a debit card. She doesn't know you own 3 jets and a yacht. You walk outside. You pass your Bentley. You drive away in a used Honda Civic instead. You signed a lease for a small apartment, $2,000 monthly. Almost half your check is gone. You sit on a hard mattress in an empty bedroom. The silence feels louder than you expected tonight. The fridge is empty. You haven't shopped for groceries yourself in 15 years. You forgot how. You open a budgeting app. You enter your $6,000. The app calculates your daily allowance, $200 a day. Minus rent, minus utilities, minus gas. The real number is 40. $40 a day for food, transport, and anything that goes wrong. Your hand trembles slightly, right here. You haven't trembled over money since you were 24 years old. The feeling returns instantly tonight. You realize the experiment hasn't even started. You're already calculating like a different kind of person. You drive to a grocery store. The fluorescent lights hum. The aisles feel longer than you remember. You pick up a dozen eggs, $6. You stare at the price tag for a long moment. You used to fly in private chefs. You never looked at prices. You barely knew what eggs cost. The cart fills slowly. Each item gets a calculation. Is this worth it? Can you afford it? You leave with one small bag. $87 vanished. You wanted 3 more items, but stopped yourself. You drive home. Traffic stops you for 40 minutes. You can't afford a helicopter ride anymore here. Coffee on the way costs $5. You almost skip it. You decide it's worth the splurge. The next morning, you wake up early. You make coffee yourself. The $5 habit ends fast. You commute to a remote job you set up for the experiment. The commute itself costs money. Gas, tolls, parking. The job pays your salary, but eats 15% before you even start working. Lunch hits. Your coworkers go to a restaurant. They order $15 salads. You bring cold leftovers. Nobody invites you anywhere this week. You realize how social being broke really feels in practice today. Your phone bill arrives. $80. Internet, electricity, water, insurance. 4 bills hit in 1 week. You check your balance on day 6. You've already spent $2,700 on bills. $3,300 remain. 24 days remain. The math is uncomfortably tight already here. You feel a small tightness in your chest that you forgot existed. The tightness has a name: scarcity. You used to handle billion-dollar deals over wine on terraces. Tonight, you can't afford the wine. You eat rice and eggs for dinner. You watch a movie on a free service with loud ads. The ads sell you things you can't afford. Cars, watches, vacations. The system whispers to you constantly. You fall asleep thinking about money. You haven't done that in 20 years. It's already changing you. You return to the grocery store on day 8. You notice something strange you missed last time. The small box of cereal cost $4. The large box costs $6. Same brand, same flavor. Per ounce, the large box is half the price. But you can't afford the larger box right now. You're paying more because you have less. The math charges interest for being short of cash today. You realize this is everywhere. Bulk discounts, yearly subscriptions, annual insurance. They all reward having more upfront. The wealthy pay less per unit for everything. The poor pay more per unit for the same item. This is called the poverty premium. This system charges you a fee just for being short-term. Your check engine light comes on day 9. You take the car to a mechanic for a diagnosis. He quotes $400 just to look, $2,000 to actually fix whatever is wrong inside. You don't have $2,000, so you decline the inspection. You drive the car as it is. The noise gets worse over the next week. The damage gets worse. The eventual cost will triple. This is the trap. You can't afford to fix it now, so you pay 3 times later instead. You used to call mechanics from helicopters and pay whatever they asked. Today, you pray it lasts longer. Day 11. A cavity starts hurting. The dentist quotes $200 for the filling appointment soon. You don't have $200 right now. You schedule it for next month. You take ibuprofen. 6 months from now, this cavity will become a root canal. $2,000. Maybe more entirely. You didn't have $200. Now you'll owe $2,000. The math punishes waiting at every turn. The poor don't pay less for things in this country. They pay more. They just pay it later. You start to see the system clearly for the first time in your billionaire life. It's brutal, honestly. Late fees, overdraft fees, payday loan interest, buy now, pay later traps. They prey on weak cash flow. You used to think these were stupid choices made by careless people. Now you see them very differently. They're not stupid choices. They're the only choices left when you don't have the lump sum money. This system was designed by people like you, for people like you, to extract from everyone else continually. You feel sick. You sit in your small apartment. You look around at the empty walls quietly. You used to count yourself as smart for being rich. You're starting to think you were just early. Day 14. You can't think straight anymore. Every decision exhausts you in a way you forgot existed. Should you eat out or stay in? Should you drive or take the bus? Should you buy this? You used to make billion-dollar decisions in under 60 seconds. Now buying soap takes 10 full minutes. You stand in the aisle comparing 2 brands. The price difference is only $1.40. You spend 12 minutes thinking about it. You realize every single penny is taxing your brain. This is the mental tax nobody talks about. Scarcity steals your bandwidth. Your mind works for survival now. You can't plan for next year. You can barely plan for next week. Strategy completely disappears for you. Wealthy people aren't smarter. They have brain space. They use their mind for assets, not for groceries. You used to wonder why poor people make decisions that look bad. Now you're making them too here. You skip a free networking event because gas costs $10 round trip. Future income disappears right there. You buy cheap shoes for $30. They fall apart in 2 months. You buy another pair again. Over a year, you spend $90 on cheap shoes. Good shoes cost $60 and last 5 years. This is the boot theory of socioeconomic unfairness. Being broke is mathematically expensive across every single category. You can't afford a better thing, so you buy worse things repeatedly. You spend more in total overall. You realize wealth isn't just having more money, it's having the option to choose the long view always. Poverty is having to choose the short view, over and over, until the short view defines you completely. Your decisions get worse as the month continues. You're tired. You're stressed. You're not thinking clearly anymore. Studies say scarcity drops your effective IQ by 13 points. You believe it deeply now from first-hand experience. You used to read 4 books a month. This month, you can't finish 1 chapter at night anymore. Your mind is too busy doing math on chicken breasts and gas tanks to think about any ideas. Day 18. The transmission on the Honda fails. The mechanic calls with the verdict tonight at 6. $1,800. You have $800 left. 12 days until your next paycheck arrives. Your mind races through the options. Credit card, personal loan, skip rent, sell something, borrow money from anyone. There is no good option. Every option creates a worse problem somewhere else in the next month ahead. You realize this is how it happens for real people. One event, one bill. Everything was erased instantly, forever. You used to handle market crashes by drinking wine on terraces. Today, a transmission ends your entire month. You don't fix the car. You walk to work. 6 miles each way, 12 miles round trip daily. Your cheap shoes blister your feet within 2 days. You wrap your heels in toilet paper inside them. You eat rice and eggs for 9 consecutive days. You don't drink coffee. You don't see anyone else. You don't have time. You don't have money. You don't have energy. You don't have any room left. You realize you're not poor. You're a billionaire pretending. But the experiment is teaching you something genuinely terrible. Real poor people can't pretend their way out. They can't end the experiment. There is no end. Ever. You only have to survive 12 more days. They have to survive 40 more years like this. Exactly. The weight of that thought sits on your chest like a stone you can't lift on day 20. You start crying in your empty apartment. You haven't cried about money since you were 24 years old. You cry not for yourself. You cry for who you used to be before the money came along. You cry for everyone still trapped in this version of life you escaped, without ever truly understanding it. You used to think the poor were lazy. You used to think the broke were stupid. You were wrong. They're tired. They're stressed. They're operating on 13 fewer IQ points. They're paying the poverty premium daily. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. You helped design parts of it earlier. Day 24. You start to understand why you became rich. It wasn't intelligence. It wasn't work ethic. It was velocity. Your money moved while you slept. Your assets earned while you ate dinner alone, quietly. Your rent was paid by dividends. Your food was paid for by interest. Your vacations were paid for by appreciation. You didn't trade time for dollars like you do this month. You traded capital for more capital instead. The W-2 worker plays chess with one piece. The billionaire plays with an entire army of pieces simultaneously. Income is a treadmill. Capital is a flywheel. One stops when you stop. One keeps spinning forever onward. The gap between you and your old self isn't $72,000 versus $4 billion income alone. The gap is whether your money sleeps while you work, or whether your money works while you sleep. You realize most people will never escape this, because they're taught to optimize the wrong number forever, endlessly. Save more, cut coffee, skip vacations, cancel subscriptions. None of it matters at this scale here at all. The treadmill keeps moving no matter how fast you run. You can't outrun a treadmill with just legs. The only escape is ownership. Even one share. Even $1 working while you do nothing else entirely. Day 30 arrives. You return to your penthouse on the top floor of a building you own outright. You stand on the terrace with a glass of wine. The city glitters below you in soft gold. You feel different forever. You're not richer because you earned more. You're richer because something else earns now. The W-2 trap isn't the salary. It's believing the salary is the answer to becoming financially free someday. Tomorrow, you start something new. You buy a small business. You give half of it to a stranger. You tell him only this: your paycheck will never make you free. Only ownership ever truly will free you. You're worth $4 billion. You spent like you made $72,000 for 30 real days. And you learned the only lesson that ever mattered. The game is rigged until you own the board.